This is Pop Culture Yearbook. On this show, we pick pieces of pop culture that were important to us in a given year. We then discuss our memories and dig into those movies, albums, shows, and more. I'm Brad.
I am Pete.
And I'm Giff.
All right, and Pete, you got your spot there. I'm glad you figured that out because usually it's Gifford second now. We've been,
That's
thrown
right.
off.
I know.
The triumphant
I'm
return again of Pete. We'll see if he's teasing this time again.
I don't know about how triumphant it is, but it is a return.
Well, you're back for the Christmas season. We're kicking off the Christmas season, and you have a job to do for us, Pete.
That is, by the way, that's my Christmas gift to you, the listener.
Wow.
And tonight we are going to be opening the special insert of our yearbook. What does that mean? Brad?
That means that everything we're getting into this month is going to be based on the holiday season, mostly Christmas, but we like to be inclusive here at PCY. So I got a little something for everybody. Yeah.
Nice.
All right, and we've got a bunch of guests. So Gifford has set up a game for us to play, and he's very good at it, and he's very proud of it, and he loves to do this. But it's much more fun if there's contestants. So we were lucky enough here this week to add 3 guests from all over the country with us tonight. You've heard them all on the show at one time before, and we're excited to have them all here at once. So we're going to go from east to west. From Georgia, we have from Children of the 80s, Jim. Jim, say hi.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming back. From Oklahoma, we have Jason from Surely You Can't Be Serious.
What's going on, everybody?
Thank you. And
Howdy,
we have
folks.
all the way in Washington, early in the evening for him, is Dave from Totally 80s and 90s Recall.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me back. Excited to be here.
We are thrilled to have you guys all here. So we'll go through and do the business. And then we have Pete, too. We should reintroduce Pete. Pete, where are you coming from?
I am coming from Maple Grove, Minnesota.
There you go. And you are the 4th contestant of our game. And I am the 5th contestant of the game as well from Minnesota while Gifford leads us through this. But before we get to our fun game, we want to do our business first. And we've got guests on who have wonderful shows that I listen to every week. So why don't we go through and let them tell us just a little bit about their show. Hopefully you've heard them on here before, already talk about it. And hopefully you're already a listener of their show. But if not, then you can find out what you're missing. So let's go back to Jim. Want to tell us about Children of the 80s?
Yeah, so I am one of the co-hosts. The other co-host is my wife, Lindsay. We come from very different backgrounds and very different parts of the country. And so we just kind of dive into our childhood and talk about, memories that we have, what was important to us, and what we still fondly remember, what we look back on now and go, yeah, that was kind of bad. But we have a lot of fun. We talk movies, music, television, toys, games, whatever. Just anything that we can recall from being kids.
And you have like another version coming out here too, don't you? Do you want to talk about that, or is that still kind of in the background?
Yeah. So we are going to start another one on. We are going to rewatch every episode of Friends. So we will dive into the 90s and early 2000s with that show.
All right. So that's fun. So that's coming. So we haven't heard that one yet, but we know it'll be great because they're fun to listen to every week. All right, let's go to Jason and tell us about your show. You're the oldest one here as far as you've been on for the most episodes of anybody.
Is that right? Okay.
Even
So,
more than
yeah.
grandfather.
Okay. I'll take that. So I'm the co-host of the Surely Can't Be Serious podcast. I co-host it with my buddy James D. Graves. And we say we are a podcast for the MTV generation. So what we do is we take 2 movies or 2 albums and we compare it against each other. So recently we just went through a deal where we compared Creed's catalog to Nickelback's catalog. And, we've done, Vacation against the Great Outdoors, or, we'll take Wham versus Tears for Fears, and we'll go track by track. And we'll talk about all the stories behind the songs. And then ultimately we'll give a judgment on which album or TV show or movie that we think is best.
Yes, it's great. And you learn so much when you listen to their podcasts. They are prepared very much every single week.
Yep.
Thank you.
And they bounce off each other and just tell the stories like it's just natural. So that's what we try to
Thank
do
you
here.
very much. I appreciate that.
All right, and then we have Dave from Totally 80s and 90s Recall, and so it'll be after this comes out, but they're celebrating a big moment here soon. So I don't know if you want to talk about that, but tell us about your show.
Oh, well, yeah, we host, just like the others, a nostalgia podcast like yourselves. We focus on the 80s and the 90s. We do a lot of music, movies, pop culture. Music and movies we hone in probably 90% of the time, but we try to mix in some other topics from time to time. Unlike Surely You Can't Be Serious, we're not as informational. We're more like, I don't know, a morning zoo cast or something. I don't know what's going on. But Rob and I have a lot of fun. We like to focus in on a lot of music. We're big music kids. And we have kind of different tastes, so it makes it fun for us to bounce off of each other because we tend to go in real different directions from time to time, and it can stoke some interesting conversation. So, and you say how prepared they are. It's great because we try to prepare, and then Rob will come on and be like, "Yeah, I was up till midnight last night." So we're like, "Oh, thanks, appreciate the effort." No, but he always comes out with plenty of stuff. So he always has like 9 pages. He still writes things out. That's how old we are. So, yeah. By the recording of this episode a couple weeks back, we would have had our 100th episode. So we're the junior group here, I guess. So we just started a year and a half ago, or it's coming up on a year in about 8-9 months now at this point. And yeah, we just threw it together and said, this is what we want to do. We want to have some fun, much like the rest of you, talk about some experiences, go back, live some memories, and it's been a blast. So it's been great meeting everybody else and getting to interact with a lot of other podcast hosts and our fans and stuff. So,
yeah, I agree. I think that's the best part about doing this is just finding the other shows that have similarities. What do we love on this show, Gifford?
We love nostalgia.
Yeah, and these are all the best nostalgia podcasts out there, and we're just honored that they even give us time and come and hang out with us. So it's great. And you guys, Dave, you guys always sound prepared to me too. It's not as new to me. I think you do a nice job.
Well, Dave,
But I do
Dave
like
is very, very prepared. Rob might be a little bit raw because he likes it raw.
he
but
does.
other than
I do like though, especially with the music ones, how you have different tastes because you make fun of Rob a lot, but usually Rob is much more in sync with me, and so I always find that funny to hear the reactions to some of the stuff he picks.
Oh yeah. And I know that now. So much like I said, I've said in the past, I think a big percentage of our audience sides more with me because I go more popular a lot of times.
You're the
And
gift
then
of the show.
yeah, and then he's the percentage side that he finds rando, but then fans like yourself come out of the woodwork and go, no, I was the other person that had that CD. So
That's right.
I was the one other one. Yeah.
Jim, how many are you at 100 episodes? I can't remember.
No, we're not at 100 episodes. We started about 4 months after Dave and Rob did. And it was funny because it was just after our second episode, Dave reached out and was like, "Hey, I was thinking this song for, most popular of the 80s." And I'm thinking, how did you find us? I feel like they should have sent Dave after Bin Laden and he would have had him like by like 2002. Because it was like after our second episode, I'm like, wow, that blows me away. So that he actually kind of led me to you guys. And then
Well,
you
I
guys
think
led
that's
me
how
to
I
Jason.
found you guys too, was through him because they all just started popping up there on the old Twitter back then at the same time, and
Yeah.
and that was it was great because it's made my weekly listens Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are all these shows right here, and it's great. Peter Gift, do you have any questions or anything you want to add there since I've been doing all the talking here?
No, you're doing a great
No.
job. I think again, love having you guys on. Listen to the pods and always something interesting. You always learn something new. And yeah, it's just good stuff. Everybody who's listening, go out and listen to check out these pods and give them a listen because you will enjoy it.
And I know of a few of our listeners specifically who have listened to your shows and gotten in, and like, because I see them follow you on Twitter and I see them on Facebook, and so that makes me feel good that it's worked out that way.
Right.
All right,
Yeah, I
so
think-
we asked.
sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
sorry, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I think it's great, all the cross-platform stuff, because I think that's how, if we've got a couple hundred and they got a couple hundred, and I assume by now Jason's got several million like you guys do, but that's where that exposure comes from. Where Jim says, "How do we hear about each other?" It just pops up. It's hanging out there, and then you get to see and hear, and you're going through some of the same things. We're all kind of around the same age. Although I think Jim's a little older, but that's okay.
I'm second oldest. Jason's older than me.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you are just slightly older than the rest of us who are all. I think we're all the same age. The other four of us here, we're all 94 graduates, right?
91.
I'm 94. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
94.
Nice.
Yeah.
And real quick before we, just my last thing, since I got Jason here, definitely on the Nickelback side. And if you haven't listened, anyone listening hasn't listened to that Nickelback and Creed stuff, that's really good. So I always said Nickelback I'll listen to all the time. Creed I can take once in a while. So Nickelback's the winner on that one. So
Yeah,
Thanks,
I
man.
had to tell him that too. I don't like either band, but after listening to the Nickelback one, I'm like, I don't know why I don't. I mean, they're fine, and I listened to it, and it was like, their music isn't really too bad.
Just
but
because everybody makes fun of them, and it's funny.
that's what happened, yeah, and they explained that perfectly. But I said I cannot.
Bit of
Get
a pod, yep.
I can't do Creed, so
well, we've established that Nickelback's too popular for you too, Brad. So it's too much. It's not underground enough.
that's right.
Mhm.
Well, thank you, Dave. I appreciate that, man.
All right. Well, we asked each of you, hopefully, to share just a quick memory of Christmas since we're talking about the holiday season here. So if you want to go back, we did a Christmas vacation episode early on in our show, and it's in the catalog in there somewhere. And we talked about memories that we had of Christmas on that episode. So we're probably not going to spend time with us doing that tonight, but we will ask you guys to do that. So it can be anything you want. Jim, can you kick us off with a memory of Christmas or something that you like about the season?
Yeah. So it wasn't until like 2 seconds ago when you said something that I thought, okay, this is going to be my Christmas memory. Came to Atlanta December of '91 to visit family down here. And that was when I fell in love with Atlanta and decided, one day I'm going to move there. My uncle took me to see my first NBA basketball game. The Bulls happened to be in town. So it was Jordan versus Dominique. That was a pretty cool experience. We got a Sega Genesis that year, so that was a lot of fun. We just spent the rest of, after Christmas playing Sega Genesis and ignoring the rest of the family. And eventually that's how I ended up here.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and Dominique was my favorite NBA player. So that would have been pretty great for me too. I was never a big Jordan fan, but Dominique was him and Clyde. They were my guys. I think we talked about that with Dave before. Clyde Drexler did Blazers.
Both of those guys were on my Sultans of Slam poster in my room.
Nice.
Really
I
good.
had my
awesome.
favorite was David Robinson. I was a big David Robinson guy.
the
I had
Admiral.
his poster in my room.
Mhm.
That's because you're always so straight laced, Pete.
Thanks.
You're like that
Appreciate
Navy guy.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll keep going in order. Jason, do you have a memory to share of Christmas, please, or the
Yeah.
holidays?
Absolutely. So before I get into my memory, when Jim said that he got the Sega Genesis for Christmas, the first thing that popped in my mind was dun 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 dun. Dun. The Sonic the Hedgehog theme was just flooding in as soon as he said the Sega Genesis. But so my biggest Christmas memory, I think, is for whatever reason, it took me like 3 Christmases to get this, but I finally got the Kenner Millennium Falcon. Right, as that was my big Christmas gift in like '82, and it was the one gift that I wanted. Like it was number one on my list, like 3 years running. Well, I finally got it, and I would play with it, all the time. And then we had bunk beds in my room, and I fell off my bunk bed exactly one time in my life, and I had set the Millennium Falcon next to my bed, and I
Oh
fell
no.
off my bed and I crushed it.
Oh.
Oh jeez.
Which it still hurts my heart, right? I mean, that was the one thing that
Yeah.
I wanted, waiting for this gift, and then I got it, and then I smashed it. So
Were you hurt at
You were
all?
okay.
That's
I
my
was
question.
I was
I mean,
fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
you hit land on a Lego. That seems, or was it Legos? I'm sorry, it wasn't Legos.
No, it's
No.
Kenner.
It was the
Miller-
Kenner, actually.
I don't know why I had Lego in my head there. That's what It was just the
Well,
regular.
Lego wouldn't be so bad. You could at least put it back together then.
Right.
Right.
Well, maybe it reminded me of. So we got a big Hogwarts one a few years ago because we're all such Harry Potter fans, and our cat knocked it off a shelf once we found it on the floor. And you don't have the directions anymore, and you can't put it back together. It's
Just throw it in the
done.
trash. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucked.
Jason, I had one of my big things growing up was Transformers, and one year for Christmas I got Optimus Prime, and shortly after getting it, I was playing with it, stood up, and I stood right on the tailgate and snapped it, so that tailgate never ever, like, you could set it there, but it, like, as soon as the car would come off, you could shoot it, like it would fall off, and like I was so devastated, and like it still hurts me to this day. That
Right.
still hurts me to this day that I broke. I broke the trailer like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes into playing with it. I was so mad.
Optimus Subprime, right?
Ah, good one.
All right, moving on to Dave and a memory of yours.
Yeah, if you catch young Dave, I would say that when I was 8 or 9, I don't exactly remember which year, but I got Castle Grayskull, and I thought that was about the best thing I'd ever seen in my life. So I had all the action figures, and I finally had a home to put them in. So as a youngster, I would tell you that'd probably be my best memory. But as a father, I'll tell you that in 2003 on Christmas Day, my oldest son was born. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that that'll be the best memory that I've got of Christmas going forward, probably for the rest of my life. But Castle Grayskull's running a close second. It's right there. So
Yeah.
This isn't a contest, bro.
Well, and as a father,
You
get
win. You win.
you get to skimp on the Christmas birthday deal. So that's
Yeah.
saving
that
money
is
every-
that's not what happened. So
Well, I was going to ask, does he like having his birthday on Christmas?
he does. He's been good about it. We've done my wife was really good about always making sure like we put his birthday presents on a different part of the house, like in the kitchen or somewhere else away from the Christmas tree. And he would either do that on Christmas Eve or we would open everything for Christmas and then he'd do it afterwards. So, and then we'd still do a cake on that day and stuff for him. So we've always done a good job and we basically said we didn't do since it's Christmas and we split the difference. Like whatever we think we would have spent at birthday, we also spend that. So he gets doubled up at that time of year. So
You're one
but
of
he's
those.
always been real happy with it. What's that?
You're one of those good parents.
Yeah, I guess that's. I guess we tried to.
He
I
always
don't know.
had. My grandpa was born on Christmas, so we always had to celebrate a little bit of his birthday on Christmas Day too. And that's the only person I knew that had that. My son's birthday is just a week after, so there's just enough of a space there to.
Yeah,
to
my
start
wife's.
over.
Yeah, my wife's on the 28th, so she got reverberations from Christmas. So now they did make it kind of a one. I mean, they tried to celebrate the other one a little bit, but it all kind of got wrapped together a little more often. So she wanted to make sure that our son didn't kind of go through some of what she went through. So
See, and I'm the 16th, and so I was kind of like your wife, where they put Christmas and birthday together, and I'd get like a little tiny birthday present, and then Christmas would come, and then throughout the year, my siblings would get whatever they wanted for birthday. So I always felt like I was getting hosed.
no, yeah.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, if you're listening.
That's right. Yep.
All right, we had one more question for you before we get started. Just what is your favorite Christmas movie and or special? So maybe one from that time when you were a kid, but could be just a movie too. So we'll keep our order. Jim, what's yours?
I've gone back and forth between Home Alone, A Christmas Story, and It's a Wonderful Life. And Lindsay just looked at me tonight and said, "You're stupid. It's a Wonderful Life is clearly your favorite, one of your favorite movies of all time. It's your favorite Christmas movie." So that's what I'm going with.
You know, that's a good one because I had seen that, but I didn't really like it as a kid. And then my wife didn't really see it. We hadn't watched it forever, but we watched it last year for the first time in forever. And we both were done like, it was awesome. Like we're gonna have to watch it every year now. So I kind of missed out on the hype for a long time, but I'm in on it now. How about you, Jason?
Well, for me, there's only one answer. It's Die Hard, right? Die Hard is the greatest Christmas movie of all time, without a doubt, hands down. Yippee-ki-yay, MFR. That's it. I mean, I think it's just so awesome, and I watch it every year. In fact, I took my my sister had given me a crap about this for calling it the best Christmas movie of all time, and I said, "Well, have you ever watched it?" She's like, "Well, no." So I drug her and her family, and then my mom jumped in, and then my aunt and uncle, and like 20 of us went to the theater last year and watched Die Hard right before Christmas. So it's like in the football, it's Die Hard.
Good. I mean, it's the
Well,
best.
you
Could be the best
consider-
movie of all time.
Yeah.
It's a perfect movie. It's the greatest action movie of all time. It's the greatest Christmas movie.
And you found a theater to play. They play it during the holiday season.
Yeah, Fathom Events reran it last Christmas season. So
Yeah, I remember that being out again. I gotta see it in the movie theater too. I hope it's maybe going to come back again this year sometime. Dave.
Yeah, so this is seemingly an impossible question, I think, because we watch like 20 different holiday movies every year. I would be controversial and argue with Jim that It's a Wonderful Life isn't even really a Christmas movie, but that's fine. Die Hard.
What I
great
used to
pick,
think
so.
too.
Well, if you really look at It's a Wonderful Life, if you take away him standing in front of a Christmas tree, the whole rest of the movie doesn't even happen at Christmas. It's a bunch of flashbacks to high school and everything else. So,
Right.
But that's for another day. So it kind of boils me down to between a couple. I'm a funny guy, so I like funny stuff. So I always thought it was Christmas Vacation, and it's a top 3 movie. But weirdly, I would tell you the one I loved the most every year and laughed the most at is Scrooged. So I like Bill Murray. I love that movie. I always laugh at it, and that's one I will never miss no matter what. So I love Scrooged. So
That's a good one. It's a bit underrated. We actually did an episode on that one way back in the early days of our podcast, right, Brad? Was that just you and me?
It
One of
was. It's one of our lost episodes. So
Okay, it's one of the lost
nobody can find
episodes.
it.
what?
But we did watch it, and we did talk about it. Our very, very first.
All right.
All right. Well, have we ever put ours on record? Pete, what do you want? You want to answer that question? Putting you on the spot.
My favorite movie has to be
Or special.
no, for me it's Christmas Vacation all the way. That's the one that I have to watch multiple times every Christmas season. And that and Christmas Story. But Christmas Vacation takes the cake. It's so quotable. Our whole family is into it. We kind of repeat the lines, and so, yep, that's it for me.
If
Ditto of what Pete said. It's exactly the same answer.
well, for a movie, it'd be kind of a toss up between that and Die Hard too. I'd probably go Christmas Vacation because it's, even though I'm a staunch arguer that Die Hard is a Christmas movie,
And it is.
Christmas Vacation's a little bit more Christmas, so I'd probably go with that one. But as you two would know, I mean, I love all those movies, but maybe my favorite of all time is Charlie Brown Christmas. That I
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
can't. I love that show so much, and it's just such a perfect little weird episode that never should have even made it anywhere, and it's just great. So that would be. I got to include that one in the list too.
I will say Die Hard. Jim was a Die Hard denier of Christmas, and I think this group has turned him over to at least consider that it is actually, which it is, a Christmas movie. So.
That is a true statement. I was anti Christmas movie until I listened to Dave and Rob last year break it down, and I went, they have some points that I can't really argue with. So I think I just gotta go to the dark side.
And as Dave said, I mean, if anything, Die Hard's more of a Christmas movie than It's a Wonderful Life is. So
And I would agree with that. I would agree 100% with that. But if
in my
No wrong
argument,
opinions in the opinion game, fellas. I mean, it's
my argument,
everybody's correct.
and I knew my argument was right because I already had it, and then I heard Jason and Dee make the exact same argument after I had already had it in my head, is that Die Hard and Home Alone are the exact same movie. So if
Correct.
you think Home Alone is a Christmas movie, then Die Hard is too, because they are like, it's a kid version and the adult version of the same damn
Yes,
thing.
sir.
Yep.
So I already liked your show, but when I heard that, I'm like, well, I'm never going to miss an episode of this show again.
It makes good points.
All right. Well, I'm going to turn it over to Giff now because he is going to lead us through the rest of the fun, and it's going to be fun.
I hope so. I hope you guys don't go 0 for 12. I don't think you will. So this is what we got. We got the alternate initials game that I've put together. So there are 12 two-word items that pertain to the holiday season. They can be a person, place, thing, character, location, just anything, two-word answers. Each item has 6 clues that I will read. I'll give the first initial for the first item. As I read the clues, if you think you know the answer, say your name. Your name is your buzzer. After I call on you, give your answer within about 5 seconds or so. If you get it right, you get a point and a chance to earn another point by answering a trivia question. If you get the item wrong, you're out for just the rest of that item. If you ring in first, you must give an answer. If you ring in while waiting for someone else to answer, you can choose to decline after the other person gives a wrong answer and continue for that item. So after the first item is answered, the last initial from that item will be the first initial for the next item. So for example, I say the first initial for item 1 is G. I read clues. One of them may be he played an FBI agent chasing an alien in 1990. Someone gets the answer of Gary Busey. Of course, that was from Predator 2. Nothing to do with the holiday season. So the first initial for item 2 is
B.
B. That's correct. So
Bravo.
some more clues and say something like his alter ego is Batman. So if somebody gets the answer of
Brad.
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne.
Brad, what's the answer?
Bruce Wayne.
B.
That's right. So the first initial of the next item is W. That
W.
is correct. So we
A
got
lot of it. It's a lot of rules he read, but it's a lot less complicated than it sounds.
They'll figure it out.
It's the most
So,
thorough
I'm
set of
reading it.
rules I've ever heard on a podcast in my life.
But we know that
And that's our show, folks.
Jim's a
We know-
rules guy, right? You like rules.
we know that Jim loves rules, so you gotta have.
It does.
I got to be able to follow them though.
Okay. Well, it'll come to you as we go. So if you get an answer right, you will hear. Oh, I got to turn my phone back up. There we go.
Oh my God.
And if you get it wrong, you'll hear. All right. So, are we ready to get started on this game?
Ready. You're
All
damn
right.
right.
What's the first thing you guys will yell?
Your name.
Your
Mason.
name. That's correct. All right. So, our first item, the first initial is W. So, clue 1 originated in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Clue 2 involves a conspiracy. Clue 3 has many steps. Clue number 4, there are over 200 different versions. Clue number 5, Parson Brown is there.
Brad.
Brad?
Winter Wonderland.
That is correct. All right, you get a chance at the trivia
Bullshit.
question. According to the song, what is a good profession for a snowman?
Just sing it in your head. You'll finish.
I'm trying. I can't do it. I can't come up with it.
Well, there's two answers. Anybody want to venture a guess?
Chimney sweeper?
No.
Pete? Oh, okay.
Well, see, it's a hard question.
I know he's like directing traffic in the cartoon, but I don't know if that's a.
We'll pretend that he's a circus clown,
Oh,
No.
that's right.
or pretend that he is Parson Brown. Parson, of course, is a pastor or a
I
priest.
get it.
You already
So-
used that, so I wasn't thinking that was something I could probably.
Well, that's why circus clown would be an acceptable answer.
All right. So we're going with the W, though.
Yeah. So the first initial of item 2 is
W.
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 Jeez,
All right.
W.
All right. So clue number 1 stars Bruce Willis. Clue number 2 founded in 1920 in Nantucket, Massachusetts. Number 3, has royal beginnings. Number 4, considered a blessing and a curse. Clue number 5, includes theft. And the final clue, this gift exchange game is popular at...
Dave.
Jim.
Jason.
Dave beat me.
I got Dave.
White elephant.
That is correct.
Can you explain the Bruce Willis thing?
Yeah,
There's a movie, White Elephant, that came out in 2022 that stars Bruce Willis.
Really?
What?
Wow.
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 And there's also
How come you all didn't get that? Come on. There we go.
right. There's also a
Close it out.
hotel in Nantucket, Massachusetts, named the White Elephant that was founded in 1920. All right, Dave, I've got a trivia question for you. What MLB team has a white elephant as a mascot and alternate logo?
Well, they used to be the Oakland Athletics. Now they're the Sacramento. It'll be the Vegas Athletics at some point. So
I'll give you that on the Oakland Athletics. It seems like Jason knew that one as well. All right, the first initial of item 3 is
E.
E.
E. That is correct. All right, clue number 1, inspired by a dancer. Clue number 2, the first word translates to stone for the help. Clue 3, the worst was yet to come.
Jim.
Jim?
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Ooh.
Wow. Damn.
Is correct. Nice job there. Gotta
so many clues for Ebenezer, and those were the 3 that we came up with.
Well, then we had a catchphrase, had the Dickens scared out of him. You know, I mean, they get easier as they come along. All right, Jim, I've got a trivia question for you. In 1979, what Looney Tunes character portrayed Scrooge in Bugs Bunny's A Christmas Carol?
Scrooge McDuck.
Oh.
Oh,
Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes. Ah,
Yeah.
Oh, you threw me too.
Jason, you know?
Everyone's going Disney.
I'm guessing Yosemite Sam.
That's right. Yep.
There you
Yosemite
go.
Sam is correct on that. All right. So no point for Jim on the extra trivia question. Our first initial of item 4 is
Yes.
S.
Yes.
Clue number 1, imprisoned for slapping a bitch. Clue number 2, moved around a lot. Clue number 3, was rich. Clue number 4, helped to prevent prostitution. Clue number 5, often gets confused with another person. And our last clue, among others, he is the guardian angel of children, toy makers, and sailors.
Jim.
Dave.
Jim or Dave, anybody have an idea on that one?
But I heard Jim.
Oh, we'll give it to
I
Jim.
think Jim.
All right, Jim?
St. Nicholas.
That is correct. All right, another point for Jim. Jim, here's your trivia question. Saint Nick's nickname is Sinterklaas, which is which language? Sinterklaas.
That Dutch.
Oh my God. He got it right.
I
Wow.
believe it's Dutch.
Man,
Wow,
I would have said
that's
German.
excellent. That might be the hardest trivia question I think that I
I thought
had.
German too.
I was thinking German too, but I think they call him Chris Kringle in German, and that's why I didn't go German.
That's yep.
Oh.
That is right.
Was your first clue on that one, was that like a reference to Bad Santa or something?
No, he once slapped the heretic Arius and was imprisoned. You know how hard it is to come up with 6 things for Saint Nick that don't give it away immediately.
Yeah, but the clue that really sold me, because it's such with the holiday theme, is the prostitution thing. So I appreciate it.
too.
That's really what put it over the
Hey,
top.
I
Well,
don't know any of those.
he helped save 3 daughters from prostitution by giving the father dowry money. So I think that's where the phrase "ho ho ho" comes from.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you really? Is that official? You find that on
Serious
Wikipedia?
Clark?
He's serious, Clark. All right, so the first initial of item 5 is
C?
And
No.
N.
N.
N. All right, clue number
so far,
1.
that's been my greatest contribution to this game.
Hey, you're-
Figuring out what the first initial is for
The
the
next
next
letter.
clue.
Yes.
That's the
He,
first
he
step.
doesn't have one yet either. So
All right, has been known to cause controversy. Clue number 2 is a great place to display ass.
Dave.
Dave,
Nativity scene.
oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wow.
very
That was a
good.
clue. That was a really good clue.
Yeah, that was the ass sold it. So
Yes.
It usually
All
does.
right,
yes,
trivia
every time.
questions. I always find that I sell it well. Trivia question for Dave. What is myrrh? And I've got three multiple choice here.
Myrrh.
Either a mulled cider,
Oh, okay.
a tree resin, or a silk fabric.
Well, I'll try to think what would make the most sense for a baby, and we'll go with the cider. Or the
It's
silk.
It's a tree resin, like incense.
No, perfect.
Well,
Trying
he's
to create a
getting
mood.
too
Trying to create a mood
incense,
for.
golden myrrh.
Yeah. So you had
What-
frankincense and myrrh, which are both for burning, I guess, and having a nice scent or whatever. All right.
Every single
so-
Christmas, my dad would say frankincense, golden myrrh. He would
Wow.
make that joke every
Dad's
time.
name is Merv.
It's like a law office.
Yeah.
Item 6 here. What's our first initial of item 6?
Jason.
Isn't?
S.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yes.
There we go. All right. Clue number 1 can vary in size, can vary widely in price. Clue number 3, usually included with other items.
Pete,
Oh,
stocking stuffers.
I had it.
That's
Said right before I was going to say it.
correct. Pete on the
It
board.
had to be aggressive.
All right, Pete, your trivia question. This food was a common stocking stuffer in late 1800s Europe.
An orange.
That is also correct.
How did you get that?
How did you know
I
that?
know that because that's what my parents always would. You'd get your other stocking stuffers, but they would also always put an orange in your stocking.
That's like getting raisins at Halloween.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We had
Yeah.
oranges and we do it now too.
Mhm. All right, so we are halfway through our game. A quick rundown of our scores. We have a tie at the top between Jim and Dave with 3. Pete, newly on the board with 2. Brad has 1. And Jason's doing a hell of a job of knowing what the first initial is.
Glad I can help, fellas.
Yay.
Quick question for Jason. What is the first initial of item 7?
S.
There we go. We got her. All right. Clue number 1. Origins include the Yule goat. Clue number 2. India has had the most. Clue number 3. Has been banned from selling alcohol in Ohio. Clue number 4. Was punched in the face on a suburban lawn. Clue number 5. Once shoved a kid down a slide.
Brad,
Dave?
Jimmy.
Brad?
Santa Claus. I had it 2 clues before, but I'm like, it can't be that again when you already did Saint Nick.
No. They're
thought I had.
confused with each other. They're two completely different things.
I know. I got it. I'm happy.
All right. Trivia question for Brad. Why was Kramer fired from his job as Santa?
Because he was telling the kids where they could go get, or the parents where they could go get the toys for like a better price.
Eh,
Anybody know this one?
I do.
Yeah. What do you got?
Because
Dave?
he was distributing communist paraphernalia.
Oh yes.
Yeah. he was
Liar.
But he
God-
did that, right? He said, "You go buy it at this other store. You'll get it for." Wasn't that Kramer?
No, well, yeah,
Well-
but he was telling them to go. No, the buy at the cheaper store is something different. That was that's a movie. That's It's a Wonderful 34th Street, because Santa
Oh, no,
tells the
that's not
kids
what-
they can get something cheaper.
Yeah. It was for being. Yeah. He was being a.
Yeah, being a communist.
Yes.
Because Mickey got him a great job and he just
Yep.
spoiled it. So
And then Mickey got fired too.
that's right.
I'm thinking of
All
Kramer,
right.
but he worded it was a but it was similar to what I was thinking. But
All right. We are on to item number 8. The first initial is
C.
C. That is correct. All right. Clue number 1. Often associated with Christmas tide. Clue number 2. Dates back to 1670. Clue number 3. Often used as decoration.
Pete. Candy
Pete?
canes.
That is
There
correct.
we go.
All right, Pete. According to Buddy the Elf, candy canes are part of the 4 major food groups for elves. Name the other 3.
Oh my God. Syrup, sugar, and I don't know it. Yeah, I don't know it. I don't remember it.
Of 4 major food groups, anybody know it?
I'm forgetting.
Dave?
I think it's candy canes, candy corns, and syrup.
Okay.
That is the correct answer. And I like that you said candy corns.
Yeah.
It is plural. I would have given candy corn, but
You
yeah,
can't just see one. So
no. I can't eat any. I think those things are wax. I don't know.
I like it.
All right, we are on to item number 9. What is our first initial of item 9?
C.
C. All right, here we go. Clue number 1. Originally centered around the shortest day of the year. Clue number 2. May include fur. Clue
Dave,
number- Dave?
yeah. Christmas Day.
Dave-
I was thinking that.
Dave is out just for the rest of this item. All right, clue number 3, usually of the soft variety. Clue number 4, have been seen on tops of cars.
Brad.
Jason.
Brad?
I shouldn't do cotton balls.
Now, Jason, do you want to answer or do you want to wait?
I'm going to answer.
Okay.
Christmas tree.
He's on the board, ladies and gentlemen. He's on
Wow.
the board.
Hey, yes.
Awesome. All right.
Yes.
Trivia question just for Jason. What was used to help hold up the tree in A Charlie Brown's Christmas?
What was used to hold up the tree? I mean, it's just like bent over because of the fall.
Call on me. Call on me.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Brad, do you know it?
Linus's blanket.
Yep.
That is correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Linus blanket, which I don't understand how it's all bent over, but you just whip a blanket around the base and suddenly it stands upright.
Oh,
That's
they
it.
all helped hold that thing up and straighten it out.
Security blanket.
What?
Yeah, if
Exactly.
you just shake your hands back and forth 5 times, yeah, save a tree.
And it
That's all
also
you
looks
gotta
like an entirely new tree too. It's just
Oh, yeah.
there's-
Well,
do. It grew needles, everything. It was perfect.
Well,
What
and
did
it
the
was
shortest day of the year have to do with Christmas tree?
Oh yeah.
that's when it was brought in originally, back in the old times. So it was they used fir trees, may contain fir, or any kind of evergreen tree, just to have something green in the house during the shortest day of the year. So
Nice.
that's when it was brought in originally. All right, so we are up to item number 10. What is the first letter of our item 10?
T.
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 All right, clue number 1.
And the highest point total is 3, right?
Yes, sorry, I'll go through. Pete, Dave, and Jim all have 3. Brad has 2. Jason has 1. And
So
we
it
have
is anybody's
items.
game.
It
We are
is
all
AG's
really good at this game, by the way.
We have 6 available points left, and then tiebreakers if we need them. All right, so T is our first initial. Clue number 1: sometimes requires heat. Clue number 2: relies on interruption. Clue number 3: there's always more than one. Clue number 4: come in different sizes. Jim?
Turkey leg.
Jim out for the rest of item 10. Clue number 5: as many as 25,000 were used at once.
Dave,
Dave?
yes. I'm gonna go with twinkle lights.
That is correct.
Little lights aren't twinkling, Clark.
That's right.
I know. All right. Thanks for noticing.
Trivia question for Dave. What is the name of Clark's father-in-law that noticed his lights weren't twinkling?
Oh,
Pete?
I believe his name is. I think it's Art.
That
sorry about that. Sorry. I didn't.
just
think
gave
that
the game
that would
away.
be the next question. Would you have
I
known
knew
that
it.
anyway?
I did.
Did you know,
I did
did you
know that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got that
Okay.
memorized. He says, "Thanks, Art.
Sorry.
Thanks."
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thanks,
noticing."
Art. Nice to notice. Okay, we have got 2 items left. The first initial of item 11 is
L.
L.
All right. Clue number 1: includes death. Clue number 2: includes more than one language.
Jason.
Jason?
Life Day. I swung for the fences.
I didn't know that one.
I was hoping you guys were Star Wars Holiday Special people, but that's okay.
Ah, I don't think anyone. I don't think
I
anyone's a
didn't know
Star Wars
what that
special
was.
people.
Well, Jason is obviously he's swinging for the fences, swinging to hit that to a galaxy far, far away, evidently. All right, clue number 3: includes sex and nudity.
I like where this is going.
Yeah.
Clue number 4: includes world leaders. Clue number 5: includes the music of the Trogs and Wet, Wet, Wet.
Brad.
Yeah.
Damn it.
No, my answer it's
Hmm.
Love Actually.
Yeah,
Ah.
that was gonna be my guess.
Ooh, I was thinking love is all around, but that's 4
Dang
words,
it.
and I.
My last clue. Ooh, would we call her chubby?
Side
All
blast there.
Brad, whose Christmas party was Billy Mack invited to?
Elton John, Sir Elton John,
Jeez.
where there was plenty of fine tail. Throw,
That is-
throw in there. What did he say?
So
about-
my trivia question's myrrh, and he gets that for a trivia. Okay,
Your question was multiple choice, though. At least
my goodness.
Let's try it on that. All right, so we are
What were they
down.
putting
To
into his Gifford? What were the ladies putting into his face when he left?
I just remember they had their mouths open.
Their
mouths were
mouths
open.
open.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
And
so
I'm getting my
quick
quotes
scoring
together.
update as we get to the last item. Dave in the lead with 5, Brad with 4, Pete and Jim with 3, and Jason with 1. All right.
Jason gets it. Dave wins.
Yeah.
Go, Jason.
Yep. So yeah, Dave's definitely cheering for Jason here.
Okay,
All right.
let's
So
go.
our last item starts with
Hey.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey.
All right. Dates back to the 1800s. Clue number 2. Can vary greatly in size.
Brad,
Brad.
I'm going for it. Advent calendar.
Oh, that brings us into a tie. All right, we have got a trivia question. This could be the
The win.
deciding factor right here. All right, Brad. We see an advent calendar 4 times in Christmas Vacation. What instrument is heard in the background?
Trumpet.
Pete
I-
knows.
All
I
right,
think I know.
Pete. What do you, Peter, Jason?
I think it's Jingle Bells, isn't it?
Jingle
You hear
bells,
the
Yep, they're little
The
jingle bells.
bells ringing. Yeah.
I was not thinking of that as an instrument, but yes, that's true.
Percussionist, for God's sake.
Percussionist.
I know. I know. It counts.
All right, folks, this is what we got. We have prepared for a situation such as this at Pop Culture Yearbook. Pete, Jim, and Jason, you guys can take this off. We are going to go to the tiebreakers, the lightning round. All right, and the
I
tiebreakers.
love lightning rounds.
He's channeling his inner Ross.
I majored in lightning rounds. All right, so in tiebreakers, there's only 3 clues instead of 6. I will give you the first initial for the first item, and that is G. G is in GIF. All right, clue number 1. Has a fairy tale beginning. Clue number 2. Can be eaten. Clue number 3. The largest ever built was 2,520 square feet.
David,
Dave.
Gingerbread House.
Dave is our winner with 6 total points.
Good answer.
Excellent, excellent job. That
Well,
was.
I'm glad that I didn't win. We should have had a guest win, but I was dishonored to be in the championship.
Good job,
I've
Dave.
never won an initials game.
That's
Do you
a
want to still do?
right there. We got a moral victory from the guy in Minnesota.
There you
Moral
go.
Do you have
victory.
extra questions? Do you want to go through them for fun?
I had one more tiebreaker. Yeah, I can do this one real quick. So the first
All right.
initial of the second tiebreaker is
H.
H.
Oh,
All
the
right.
connect. H.
Yep. Was a wish come true? Included bandits.
Did I hear somebody's name?
Brad.
Oh,
Brad.
Yeah,
Malone.
that's correct.
I thought I
There
heard somebody speak there. Sorry.
Final clue on that is this classic Christmas movie featured an overly sadistic 8-year-old. Well, Dave, what do you have to say for yourself? I don't have a trophy for you.
Oh.
I wish I could send something.
I was
away.
thought there would be something in the mail, but I'm so unprepared. I didn't do a speech, but I just like to thank my friends and family for this moment. I'm not sure.
You made the West
Well,
Coast proud.
We will give you all the credit on every social media that we can out there when this
That's
when this goes up.
I did it for the fans. Yeah. So
Well, I thank you guys for coming on. I mean, it's kind of a goofy game. I have a great time putting it together. Putting yourselves out there, trying to figure out the way my mind works and put it together. The answers. I appreciate you coming on.
And I think it's great that everybody got at least one right, so we all had something to be happy about here.
Yeah, you can go.
Moral victories for everybody.
Yeah, you can look yourself in the mirror. Everything is good in
That's
life.
right.
walk proud.
Let's go in reverse order here on if you guys want to just mention your show, maybe something you got coming up here. So Jason, since you had the lowest points, you can go first.
Wow, really rubbed that part in.
Wow.
No, it's
Hey.
fun
Just
doing
slipped
it.
it right in there.
Yes, thank you very much, Brad. I appreciate that. I knew I wasn't going to be good at this game because as soon as he's like, okay, prostitution, I'm thinking about like girls in Santa Claus outfits, and I'm like, I was off track at that point. There was no rescuing me at that moment.
It threw him off his game.
So yes, we've got a couple of fun things coming up. We're actually diving into the Quentin Tarantino universe here for the first time. So we're going to do Natural Born Killers versus True Romance. Two movies that were written by Quentin Tarantino but directed by other people. So that's kind of interesting. And then at the end of the year, we're kind of doing a bold matchup where we're taking two movies that are similar but very different and comparing them. We're doing Django Unchained and comparing it to Blazing Saddles. So,
Wow.
Whoa.
That is going to be a barn burner. I
Yeah.
like
Damn.
There.
so
They do use similar language though. So
that's that's one of the
All right.
things. Yeah,
I can see it. I'm with you.
Mhm.
very holiday centric movies, by the way. I appreciate it.
Yes. Yep.
All right. Well, those sound fun though. I'm looking forward to that. You finished. So, Jim, you did technically get your revenge on Jason because you did score higher than him than in the game you guys played on your
he
show.
did. He got me.
Yeah, I finally got my revenge.
See, everybody wins when they come on here, so it's everybody has something to take with them.
That's right.
But anything you want to say you got coming up, Jim?
Yeah, so first I want to say, we always talk 80s and never talk 90s, so I want to quote one of my favorite 90s movies, which I think you mentioned in this most recent podcast. Who's the big winner tonight? Dave.
Mike.
Dave's the big winner.
Davey's the big winner.
Davey's the big winner. But yeah, we've when this episode airs, we'll be right in the middle of the Christmas season, so we'll be doing four Christmas centric episodes. We're going to cover Christmas music of the 1980s, Gremlins. We will
That's a
cover
good
a Christmas
Christmas movie.
story, which because Wednesday falls on Christmas Day this year. So we'll do our, you can watch your 24 hours of a Christmas story and listen to our podcast about a
Sure.
Christmas story. So, and then we have a surprise episode coming up on the first week of December that I was told I'm not allowed to reveal. So,
Well, that's
Ooh,
perfect.
just-
You know how to keep that audience on the chain there.
little teaser.
Star Wars Holiday Special. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't think so.
good one. It is
Lights
80s,
out.
right? Or was it-
All right, the big winner, Dave. What do you guys got coming up?
Well, as of the airing of this episode, we'll be getting into our holiday stuff, and we stay nice and predictable, unlike Jason and them, and we go to the holiday type movies. But we're going to be doing a couple movies, and we're going to be doing Jingle All the Way from 1996 because Arnold and Christmas just go together. Like,
Filmed in Minnesota
I think
at the
you
Mall
do.
of
I know.
America.
we will probably get into that a little bit. So, and then we're going to do everyone's favorite that mentioned today is Christmas Vacation. That's a Rob request. That's his movie. So we always try to do an 80s movie and a 90s movie. And then we actually have an episode we're doing Christmas songs as well, such as Jim is, but we're doing bad Christmas songs. So I've found a nice group of songs that should not have been recorded and particularly might not even have anything to do with Christmas, but they put trees and stuff on their CD cases, so everybody bought them in December. So
I like that idea.
That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
So.
Mhm.
Can you? It is a Christmas song, but can you put the Kelly Clarkson song underneath the tree on your list, because that might be my most
Well,
hated song when it comes
It's
to the season.
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting you say that. First, all my songs 80s and 90s, so I was real good at
Oh,
keeping
true.
that. But
Right.
but I'm gonna say something here. Since I'm the winner today and I know best, I actually like that Kelly Clarkson song. So
All right, see, you gotta have that diverse opinion.
Little controversy.
Perfect.
All right, well, we can throw out ours too. Pete, what did you pick for this month that we're going to talk about in a couple weeks?
A unique one. As we've said before, we talk about music, movies, and more. TV, music, movies, and more. This is going to be a more episode where we're going to be talking about toys. We already got into it a little bit tonight, but we're going to be diving into the best Christmas toys and just the best toys of all time. So I think that's going to be a fun one.
Mhm. And so our highest downloaded episode of all time is a Christmas playlist episode that we did our first season, and we are going to do a volume 2 of that where we pick nothing that we picked in that episode, because there's so many Christmas songs, and we're going to do it all again. It's gonna be great. And then this was
get
Giffords and-
get Kelly Clarkson in there. Come on.
Right.
well, we'll see.
I'll-
Hey, one of them might pick it. You never know. Maybe they'll do it just to spite me.
I would.
We would. That's our inspiration right there.
And then this was kind of Gifford's here, but what's our other one, Gift, since you kind of picked that in a way too?
Well, one of the biggest Christmas movies that we have not covered yet, and we're all big fans, and that is Home Alone. So we will get into it later in the month. I think that'll be the last one that we put out for the month and for the year, and that'll be a lot of fun digging into the booby traps and the wet bandits and all the good stuff that happens there. So yeah, be a lot of fun.
All right, so there you go, everybody. You got 4 shows full of great stuff coming up in the next month. So
Yeah, tune into all of them
happy holidays.
Yes, absolutely.
and follow us all on the socials, on the Twitters and the Facebooks and the interwebs and all of that good stuff. Yeah, just check out Pop Culture Yearbook. You can find us talking with all these guys throughout the week. So if you need to find them, you can find them there. So yeah.
All right. Hey, Gifford.
Oh, here it is.
Hey, Pete.
You know what band has never been in prison for slapping a bitch?
Oddly enough, it's Preacher Row.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I think that they would
They've
have.
never been in prison. I was going to say, you know what band has been in prison, but I didn't want to give negative vibes about the band. We love the band, so
We do love the band.
it'd be like, what's the word I'm looking for?
For smirching.
Slander,
Gonna stop
right?
recording.
All right. Well, here they are, Preacher Row.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Standing on my own 2 feet. No one's here to comfort me. Sorry for what I have done. Sorry that your song is gone. 7 steps and it will be my last. Hands tied, tell me on my back. Heart down and I look to you. I'm scared, but there's nothing I can do.